Hi and welcome back to my channel. For this week's video I've started a gentle nutrition series, so I thought what better recipe to use than one of my favourites, my go-to healthy nourishing snacks, and it's the cookie dough bites that I'm going to be making this week. So the first bit of the video will be the recipe for that, so you can follow along, and the recipe itself is in the description box down below for all the amounts with the ingredients and things. And then in the second part of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about gentle nutrition as an intuitive eater. It's principle 10 of the self-care framework of intuitive eating. And it's a really important part of this work. It helps you understand that intuitively eating certainly isn't about abandoning your health. In fact, the opposite's true. It's about honouring your health. And I'll be explaining why in the second part of the video. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned all the way till the end, and then you can get some more guidance and some tips on how to include gentle nutrition into your daily food choices. And do feel welcome to click the subscribe button and the bell so that you're notified every time I post a video about all things health, wellness and intuitive eating. One of the best things I learned about intuitive eating was that as well as making peace with food and healing my relationship with food and body, nourishing my body with a variety of different foods from different food groups that really support your health is just such a key part of this work. And once I got to that stage, I really did feel, that I had sort of cracked it, so to speak, with living the life of health that I'd always dreamed of, without any of the stress and guilt that comes with dieting. So this is the sort of work that I do with my clients in my coaching, that I provide the one-to-one, and I'll be doing group coaching shortly. And I just wanted to sort of share how hopeful this work is for those of you that are fed up of dieting, but you're just not quite sure what to do next, and you may be still learning about intuitive eating and wondering how it does support your health. Then this is a great video to, introduce the gentle nutrition side of things, as well as give you some inspiration with recipes that I'll be including regularly in my future videos as well. So here's the ingredients that you're going to need for the cookie dough bites recipe, and all the information is also included in the description box below. So it really is a nice simple recipe, this, and it doesn't generally take longer than probably sort of 10-15 minutes, I would say, to complete. The first step is grinding up some oats. I've got a food processor to do it in, but you can use even like a NutriBullet, just sort of anything that just grinds the oats so they're a little bit more of like a powdery texture, like you can see there. Again, you can just put the food processor on for as long as you need, maybe a minute or so. Then we're adding in some ground almonds, so I just buy those already ground, as you can see there in the video. And then next is some melted coconut oil. Coconut oil is the preference, simply because when it cools it sets, and that helps the cookie dough bites take their shape. And then we're adding in peanut butter. If you want to add in any other type of nut butter, you're very welcome. This tastes really nice, but honestly you can make it your own, so substitute any ingredients that you would like to in the recipe. I've next used maple syrup for the sweetness in these cookie dough bites. You could use an alternative sweetener if you wish. Maple syrup does work well, so it is a nice one if you've got it. And then just a teaspoon of vanilla extract, or you can use vanilla essence if you wish, again just to add some nice flavour to the overall recipe. And then we're going in with a little pinch of salt, again any salt of your preference will do. And then another whiz in the food processor. If you wanted to hand combine it, you can, that's not a problem at all. Just use what sort of utensils and gadgets you've got for your convenience, and then you'll see it just forms a nice dough. Obviously it is quicker if you've got a food processor, but it's not a necessity. If you just had a mixing bowl to mix it all together, you can. And then the final ingredients, the chocolate chips. So I've gone for dark chocolate here, that makes them vegan friendly, but again, you can use whatever you wish. You can make the recipe your own, so if you wanted to use milk chocolate chips, you could do that. You could even put in something different. If you don't want chocolate, you can do raisins or a bit of dried fruit. Whatever floats your boat taste wise and satisfaction wise is really important, and that's what intuitive eating is all about. Finding your own preferences is absolutely key. So this is just a guideline really, and some inspiration for you to enjoy. Then once you've got your dough and your chocolate chips or whatever you're putting in to make up the completion of the recipe, then you literally just combine it all together like I'm doing here, so you've got everything all as evenly mixed in as you can. And then all that's left to do is to take a small amount of the dough and then roll it into a ball, and then just keep going until you've used up all your mixture. And this recipe, it makes up to about 30 cookie dough bites, depending on obviously how big you make them. And then we'll just go into the next clip where we speed up. And here is the finished result. You've got a lovely batch of cookie dough bites there, great gentle nutrition snack to eat to keep those hunger and fullness cues all nicely balanced and nice and satisfying, and then you're ticking all your boxes of gentle nutrition for a nice healthy natural source of protein, fat, carbohydrates, and of course not missing out on the satisfaction factor, because that's one of the most important things to honour in intuitive eating. These will keep really nicely in the fridge for up to a month, or you can freeze them for up to 3 months. Hope you enjoy! So I hope you enjoyed that recipe video section, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you make it, what you've thought of it, and are there any other snacks that you really enjoy to support your health, and any ideas you've got that you'd like to share. Again, just do feel welcome to put them in the comments section below, and it would be great to hear what you enjoy and whether you've enjoyed this recipe. So this is just a brief introduction really to sort of get you started with gentle nutrition. The first point to make is that it's best to approach the gentle nutrition principle when you have done enough healing with your relationship with food and your body, using all the other principles, so that this doesn't feel like a diet, and that it feels like you can approach it with all that wisdom that you've gained through the healing process of using the intuitive eating framework. But it's a great one to learn about if you're not at that stage yet, just so you've got that confidence that you do know that intuitive eating is very much about honouring your health, and that this is all a process that allows you to, really nourish your body, but also still enjoy all foods in a variety and quantity that feels good in your body. So the main aspects of gentle nutrition that I wanted to introduce in this video is just exploring a little bit more about the benefits, and then I'm going to talk about what healthy eating is as an intuitive eater using gentle nutrition, just to give you an idea of what is possible with this work. The main benefits of gentle nutrition are that you're making food choices that honour your health and your taste buds, and that they also make you feel well in a way that's sustainable. And so that also means having a healthy relationship with food and your body, as well as the actual foods that you're eating, and that's what makes up the main benefit of gentle nutrition. And this will look different for each person because we're all unique as to what foods make us feel particularly good and in our best health. And just to reassure you, you don't have to eat perfectly to be healthy. So as an intuitive eater, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing approach when you get to the gentle nutrition principle. It's about eating with variety and balance. So predominantly the majority of your food choices will be made up of natural and processed whole foods, and then you'll have a scattering of maybe processed foods of your choosing that feel good for your soul. Intuitive eating calls those foods play foods. I tend to call them soul foods, but you can call them whatever you like as long as the name you give them isn't one that gives any moral superiority or inferiority. So we tend to avoid using words like junk food or bad food or cheap food in intuitive eating. It is quite a natural question to wonder if eating whatever you want will lead to eating with abandonment, and then that results in poor nutrition and potentially even weight gain, which is a lot of people's great fear with doing this work. But actually, intuitive eating, which has loads of studies to support its success, is associated with improved nutrient intake, as well as eating a wider variety of foods and reduced eating disorder symptoms. So really the benefits are just absolutely amazing. And when you remove the guilt and morality from food, it really does allow you to feel the physical sensations from eating. So that then allows you to honour hunger and fullness cues fully and eat with satisfaction factor as a high priority in your choices. And again, that allows you to eat from a place of much greater trust and inner wisdom, rather than outsourcing your decisions to a set of rules, which then often result in restriction and then sabotage and falling off the diet bandwagon, etc. And then finally, moving on to what is healthy eating. So looking at this through the lens of intuitive eating is the definition that we are exploring here. And healthy eating is having a healthy balance and variety of foods and a healthy relationship with food. So we're not making ourselves morally superior or inferior based on our eating choices. And intuitive eating supports you to become attuned in mind and body to make food choices. So again, diets are often very much choices made from your mind, whereas intuitive eating connects the mind and the body and really relies on the body's wisdom and the body's cues to inform the choices that you want to make, which leads you to greater trust, greater peace and greater freedom around all foods that you choose to eat. And just briefly looking at the different categories of foods that make up healthy eating as an intuitive eater. And the first category is processed foods, so they don't have to be eliminated altogether to be for you to be healthy. But generally they are less nutrient dense. So examples of those are like cakes, pastries, crisps, etc. So you're welcome to include those as part of healthy food choices. However, you will most likely find that you would be eating those in a sort of generally lower frequency and volume to still feel physically good in your body compared to more nutrient dense foods. The nutrient dense food categories that you want to be incorporating are ones that provide more nutrients and include whole grains, beans, fish, avocado, nuts and dairy and other sources of protein. So the protein rich foods would be things like beans, lentils, seafood, chicken, turkey, nuts, lean meat, eggs and dairy. And again, you're welcome to choose which of those food options resonate with you, that you enjoy. There's lots of different aspects of that group that you can pick from to suit your own preferences. Quality fats is another category of nutrient dense foods. that's essential for the body. So that includes omega-3 fats, which are found in examples seafood, olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, etc. And then you've got whole foods, which are nutrient dense foods in the overall category. So examples of that are brown rice, oats, millet, beans, quinoa, fruits and vegetables. And the benefit of those are that they're all high in fibre as well, which is really health promoting food choice to be making for your best health. And then the last category is water, so making sure you get enough water, and that would be the guidance is about 1.5 to 2 litres a day. But again, you know, just be flexible in your thinking around it. These are guidelines, they're not meant to be a set of rigid rules, but they just give you a little bit of a foundation to work from, so you've got something to kind of, you know, base your understanding of healthy eating around to help you, not only during this process but beyond, you know, when you're a fully fledged intuitive eater, and you know, you've got this as a bit of a compass really to keep guiding your daily food choices. And then the last category is it's called play foods in intuitive eating. I call them soul foods, but they're just really any foods that you desire that make your heart sing. They may not be as nutrient dense, the soul foods, and that's okay. It's about, you know, eating, you don't have to eat perfectly to be healthy. And again, it's just about eating a volume and frequency of your play foods and soul foods that still feel physically good in your body. And again, that looks different for everybody. But overall, you would tend to be finding when you're feeling at your best with this work, you're going to be making the majority of your food choices from your nutrient dense foods. Then you're going to have a scattering of processed foods and play foods, or soul foods as I call them, to complete the whole aspect of satisfaction and having that variety and balance. And if you're brand new to this work and you're really wanting to just sort of get started from the beginning, then please do feel welcome to watch this video. It's the first step to explaining what intuitive eating is. It gives you an overview of the 10 principles and some tips on how to get started. And there's also a lovely beginner's guide for you to download, and that's in the description box below, as well as in that video. So I hope that helps, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next one.